What's up, folks? It is Monday, 7 p.m., March 25, episode 28. We're almost to the day. Yeah. What do you call that? Like a golden birthday if you're 31 on the
and the 31st?
Yeah.
If that could ever happen
Wrapped
for
up
us.
my golden year. So.
Yeah. You just did?
Yeah, 29th. Right on.
Yeah, you did.
What about you? What did you do this year?
What did I do this year?
When's your golden year?
Nothing!
Mine was last year.
Last year? Okay.
Yeah.
When's your golden year?
I already had it. I'm too old for that.
Okay.
Actually, this is my last. I'm turning 31 Wednesday.
Nice.
And I was 27. March 27th is mine.
27. Okay. It's a good one too.
Yeah.
Well, now that we're done talking about us, welcome into Chat 10 Sports. We're at episode 28 where we're talking about tonight. Obviously, March Madness is happening right now. Duke and the Vols squeeze out the W's.
Yep.
That's some NFL draft talk, and also the Braves
Yeah.
are cooking up some spring training goodness. By the way, if you could hook me up there.
I got you. I just think about that.
Speaking of, if you will do us a favor, share the show for us on Facebook and Twitter. We'll be on Periscope and Facebook as well tonight, as usual. But do us a favor, comment and interact with us. Share your opinions, because obviously there are some hot takes.
Yeah.
About the Vols, about what the bracket looks like right now. You just said that your bracket is...
Okay. 14 of 16.
Mine is, just absolutely horrendous.
Is that a scientific term for it?
Yes, that's a scientific term for it.
It's an annual term.
Yeah. Just bad. I got the text this morning that says, Chase, I thought you were good at this basketball thing, but clearly you're not. You're in last place. And I'm not happy about that. There's multiple women that have never watched basketball. They're way ahead of me.
Herb Gundy says, come on, survive in advance, 2 down, 2 to go to the Final Four.
Yeah.
Trying to set history. That's like, if anyone who is upset with the Vols right now or disappointed with their play the last 2 rounds, that's the go-to slogan. Survive in advance, baby.
That's what it is, man.
That's it.
Yeah.
Get this shared here.
Do it. Look at him. Herb, I appreciate it, buddy. You just got to keep grinding, buddy. That's all it is.
But I know we're going to jump into some Vols from the top.
Mm-hmm.
Got the bracket pulled up here. Let's recap going from Colgate. Obviously, the Vols won 77-70. What was the initial takeaway? Were you thinking, and Chase, to start with you, were you thinking, par for the course, this is the tournament, Tennessee better get their stuff in order, or it'll be short-lived, or what was your initial takeaway?
For the Colgate game, yeah, it's one of those, man. That conference has come out and had multiple really good showings in the tournament. Holy Cross, Lehigh, Colgate obviously came out and played pretty well. And then who else do they have? Oh, and what was that team? Anyways, there's another one. They had 4 guys. They've had 4 teams in the last 8 years come out and win the first round game as a 14 or 15th. Oh, and Bucknell. That was the other one I couldn't think of.
Nice.
Yeah, so they all come out. They perform well. I knew once we saw that stat, most threes made since February 1st, I was like, this team's going to come out, get hot. And then I saw Burns had 38 in his conference championship, and I was like, yeah, here we go. And, it kind of was exactly what I thought it was going to be on that first game. Our buddy Blaze Keelan, our former ticket winner, was talking about this is how it's going to work out is we're going to win by 7 or 8 points, and we're going to get a good scare in the first game. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
They're playing with house money in the first round. It's one of those things, like, all the pressure's on us. These guys can come out and take shots they're never going to take. And obviously this dude's been cooking for a couple weeks now, so I don't know. It's one of those to me that it didn't really surprise me at all week 1. First game, sorry.
No lead is safe around the Vols.
No.
It was like we were up 25 at the half yesterday, and I said, oh, you just wait.
Yeah.
Just wait for it. And sure enough, like pretty rapidly, too, after the first half, it just started. They started chipping away.
Yeah.
Tennessee couldn't buy a basket. They weren't missing. And then it just felt like the air was completely out of the team. And it was like, okay, anytime now that you could just bounce back and show that the life is still in you. And luckily they pulled it out again yesterday.
Yeah.
Luckily. I mean, that was Tell me about, I didn't notice, and we were at Drake's in Chattanooga with some friends watching the game, and luckily, like, we left the house first half, like, sweet, great game, Vols are back, like, clicking on all cylinders. We were texting about it, got to the restaurant, and it's 15 minutes in the second half, and it's like, all right, let's see what happens, and then the tide just, absolutely shifted. But I did not notice that Admiral was taken out for the majority, if not all, the second half, and they didn't even play in overtime.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a strategy, or is there something that he wanted to let someone else kind of take the run? Or
There's
take
a lot
the
of talk about that after the game.
So he got himself in foul trouble. I guess he got his third foul early in the second half. So you're obviously just going to take him out and be like, all right, cool. We'll play with a little stretch. We've got a huge lead. We'll be fine. And then that just changed the tide because we just can't, our whole offense was kind of just flowing through him, and he had made every big bucket, and, you know, he got a couple offensive rebounds, and you're like, okay, Admiral's running the show.
He was playing great. He was hitting
started out
everything.
He hit the first 2 threes of the game.
Yeah, every tip out came to him. It felt like it was just one of those games for him. And, you know, once you get your offense in a rhythm, and that rhythm is now the one guy that's out on the floor, out on the bench, and so it's like, well, I don't know, man. Who do we run through now? And Grant was kind of not in the game. He was kind of getting taken out of it, and then he had to really step up, and he played a really good second half in overtime. He really showed why he's SEC Player of the Year. Yeah. I mean, they had, what's his name from their post that came out and played lights out in the second half. Cook, yeah.
Yeah, Cook and Garza, too, the big guy. They had his dad mic'd up, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
This is cringeworthy, but at least, you know, Cook came out flat.
Yeah.
He was like 0 for 7 or something in the first half.
Horrendous first half.
And then came out just straight cooking in the second half, and they were going to be as good as he was.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like that they made it a point to run everything through him.
Yeah.
He got, you know, a little bit of momentum going. They got a lot of momentum going. Yeah. Next thing you know, it's a tie ball game.
Mm-hmm.
The thing with Sko staying out is he felt like from what I've heard, he felt like Kyle needed to stay in the game. He felt good about the matchup, or just like kind of the way that things were going. And
why? I mean, it doesn't make sense because, like we were saying, he was hitting everything, he was clicking, and Herb Gundy comes in and says, "Do you see the video where they got back to Knoxville and the local news?" He said, "It looks like Schofield was limping in bed. Do y'all know anything?"
I don't think that was the case because the little bit he did play. It's one of those that he came back in, wasn't in a rhythm when he got his third foul, and then really quickly got his fourth.
Mm-hmm.
He was out for such an elongated time that when he was to come back in, his first shot was an air ball, like chunked it over the backboard, basically. Yeah. And so it's one of those that he couldn't. Either way, he couldn't play the way he wants to play with the way they were rolling because he was either going to have to guard Cook, and how he's going to guard Cook is physical. You could see this is not like the officials were one-sided, but you could see they were going to make calls. They shot 11 more free throws than us. They were getting to the rim. They're attacking him. They know they're going to come at him. So that's one of those strategies. It's like, man, you can't let these guys score to get to the paint. And Kyle was altering shots. He was running the floor.
Yeah.
He's putting a little pressure on these guys, and he could guard a little bit more physical and do his thing. Where Admiral's like, man, we're kind of figuring it out offensively, so why not, especially in overtime, he would have just run the rhythm. You know, we were doing so well, everything was running through Grant. So bringing back Admiral in the game would have kind of ruined the flow.
Yeah.
And he even said, I can't guard the way I want to guard. And if they were going to, the way their guards were cooking at the time, who he would have had to take out if we were to take out Bowden, that was one of the big questions is, well, why do you have to just take out Kyle? Because we needed Bowden in there with his quickness because their guards were cooking at that time.
Yeah.
And we couldn't stop them. And Admiral's going to be a step slower, especially compared to Bowden. And so he's going to have to play more physical the way the refs were calling the game. It was just the right call. I think it was. Obviously, it was too close for comfort, but I think it was the right call.
Yeah.
We'd have got him, and we would have been without him the whole time. And then if in the last play of the game, people were mad that he didn't get a shot in regulation. But it's like, well, the guy's not played for 19 game time minutes, you know? Like, what kind of rhythm do you think he's going to be in? So I don't know. I felt like it was the right call situationally. He saw the right thing. Some people disagree.
Yeah.
But it was a huge maturity moment, too.
Mm-hmm.
Because usually, players want to be selfish, me. And he thought, no, I really like what they're doing.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay out of it. I mean, you want to put your best players on the court. If I was coach, I would have been a little peeved at that.
Yeah.
I've been like, no, you want to take that shot. That's what makes a good player is you wanting to take the shots that mean the most. But I understand where he was coming from, and he's always been the vocal leader, like in timeouts. Like he's usually chewing somebody.
Oh yeah.
Before any of the coaching staff get to him, and he tends to lead a lot of the huddles and stuff. And they always talk about him explaining plays to players, like, hey, this is what you're looking for, and this is where you're going to be, and I need you to do this. And so it's his leadership is not questioned on that team at all. I mean, Grant may be the best player, but Schofield is the leader, I think, of that team.
Yeah, he's definitely the vocal leader. And you talk about how these two guys are similar and different in a lot of ways, where Rick Barnes always talks about, I don't even have to coach during games a lot of times. You can see Grant kind of controlling things out there, and he and Scope.
Speaking of, most coaches, when it always feels like the momentum swings are huge in the Vols game.
Yeah.
All the games this season, it's felt like either they were up big and then they let a team come back, or they were down big and then they came swooping back. Barnes never calls timeouts, and Ali even noticed that he stays seated a lot. I mean, obviously you have to be John Calipari when you're literally at half court and calling them every name in the book, and literally in the ear of the referee at all times.
Yeah.
But do you want to see? I mean, Rick Barnes says he used to be like that at Texas. He was really hard on his guards, his point guards. He's very stern and vocal.
Yeah.
But now it seems like maybe with age, or maybe it's just this senior led team that he's been like, hey, y'all go make plays. What do you think about not calling timeout, especially during that huge run? I saw somebody had posted still no timeout, and it was just like we're watching this game get away from us, and it seems like you could call a timeout to stop the bleeding, but there was no such timeout in sight. And I don't know what you thought about that. If you thought that was more of a testament to his confidence in the players, or do you think that's just something he's kind of morphed into later in his career?
I want to ask everybody, if you're watching with us too, Chase is thinking about his answer, but if you're watching, let us know what you think as well. If you have these thoughts, opinions, feel free to jump in on Periscope and Facebook.
Yeah, there we go. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't know. I don't think he needs to push it too much, but I'm with you. I think just a little bit more. Like the timeout he called, I think we were, they were already within 8. Like the one they went on this run, they came back 16, 17
25 to 8.
Yeah.
He watched that much of a lead dissipate.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he tried to use the TV timeouts and all that fun stuff, but it just
got some gold.
Oh, yeah. Craig Story, knows Chase is a North Carolina guy, says Roy doesn't call timeouts either.
I know. Both these coaches think that timeouts are the currency of heaven, I believe. They're just going to take them all with them to the grave. Just save them up, and the good Lord's going to let them get first class in heaven, and it frustrates the heck out of them.
But this is true. We are screwed.
Yeah.
we called too many timeouts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even Duke, you heard Coach K in that timeout be like, hey, these next 8-9 possessions, this is what you were born to do. You know, and there is a certain aspect of speaking something into being, and willing your team and be like, hey, Monte, this is your half. You're going to go out and you're going to lead this team to victory, and him doing it. But at the same time, they all seemed dead. I don't know what Bone was doing second half. He seemed really out of whack. Our offense in the second half is just clear out and let Monte run at the rim and throw something crazy up, or maybe kick it and get a decent shot. But it didn't seem like they had any momentum at all on the offensive end of the court.
Yeah, whenever you step back, like for us, I thought everything was moving very quickly. Well, not very quickly, but at like the smoothest fastest smooth pace.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, we start running clock plays with 19 minutes left in the second half. You're like, this just kills you.
Right.
Once you just revert your pace back to this slow down offense, it's just not us.
Yeah.
Step on the gas, and that's just the worst thing that we can do. And I could see Rick kind of being like, go, move a little bit, but we, like you said,
walking up the court,
throw it to Lamonte or Bone, get a switch on a big guy. But we're just not that kind of one-on-one team all the time. I know Bone's fast, and I know Lamonte can finish at the rim, but we're just not going to be that. When that's 90% of your offense, that's just not going to work for us.
Mm-hmm. Well, I noticed, too, you had mentioned about how, Barnes is sitting down for a good chunk of the time. I remember at the end of the Colgate game, I think Lamonte had taken a three and just missed, and it bounced right back to him, or it was passed right out to him. And he just took a second, kind of composed himself, and then just drained a three.
Yeah.
And it's almost – and then you could see Barnes was livid that he took the first shot. Yeah. You could see the impact that he was having on Lamonte. Now, I know, just to kind of chime in as far as that point, I know Rick Barnes, whenever he was at Texas, would get to the tournament and sometimes come up short.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I don't think he's rattled by this situation with having a top 3 team or a team of this caliber, but at the same time, I think you realize how much the regular season, the SEC tournament, and then all the games packed in so tightly, how much it affects all these teams. Because we saw it with Duke, we saw it with Tennessee, obviously. I've been, and this, we all talked about this, but I've been someone to say the inconsistencies the Vols have shown are concerning. And it's not like I'm trying to say I'm right, because obviously you guys know I'm not the biggest basketball fan out there, but it's one of those things, and I'll push this question out for everybody watching as well, but who do you blame for the rough second half against Iowa?
That's tough, man. Like it's hard not to blame the guards, because Bowden made 2 or 3 horrendous turnovers. One, I don't even know what was happening. They just got scared and he dribbled towards the corner and just purely dribbled it out of bounds with no pressure. And I was like, what just happened? And then he comes off our normal little curl play that he's made 200 shots, it felt like, this year off of, and it wasn't open, and he just threw it off the back of Kyle.
Yeah, he left the ground.
Yeah,
and then he tried to feed it to Kyle, but he should have just taken the shot. He had a little bit of clearance to take the shot. I don't think he had the confidence that he was, going to make it, or going to, make it with a contested shot like that. I mean,
and there was no pace from.
It's frustrating.
Goodness gracious, C-Web's love for Mr. Bone last night or 2 nights ago is one of those where you're just hoping that he's this pace that Jordan Bone plays with, and then you just didn't see that in the second half.
Yeah.
He was getting up the floor in literally 4 seconds.
But why does it seem like every game there's one guy who's off and he's not doing his thing, or they're taking selfish shots?
Yeah.
Just is it a practice thing, you think? Is it something through the week or through the days in between games where it's just
I don't know. I think that's one of those where you can see, that first half, when this team plays 5 guys team ball, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's scary stuff. Everybody made the right pass. And then the second half, like you're just saying, it's ISO ball for one guy. Every once in a while, they'll have spurts. It'll be Lamonte will take some bad shots.
Yeah.
I'm not getting mine in this moment, and that just kills you.
Yeah. It's also because they were so good throughout the season of making the extra pass.
Mm-hmm.
But also what comes with that is when you do catch that extra pass, you have to be ready to shoot.
Yeah.
And that's just a fundamental thing, catching in a 3-point stance kind of deal. It felt like they were hesitant in the second half, the guards were at least, to when they had that shot, they didn't want to take it.
No.
And that scares you. Because everybody talks about guard play is what gets you deep into March. And I think that we have good guards, really good guards. It's just the inconsistency that we've seen from them has been a little shaky. But
we got some really good comments coming in here. Trying to scroll back up, but my Facebook's lagging.
Scott Wilford. You're totally right, dude. This is not because we talk about the Vols, but 100% Iowa came out ready to play in that second half, and you knew that run was coming. not to that extent.
Yeah.
Definitely, I really did think, I was like, they're going to push it within 10. I was too good. They've got a couple guys that'll play some low-tier NBA basketball. Like, Cook's going to wind up playing somewhere.
Right.
Bohannon might make a roster. Garza, I hope I never see him again.
I hope I never see it. I hope I see Bohannon again.
Yeah.
That dude was taking me off.
But Steven Snyder says the whole team's to blame. Herb Gooney comes in and says the refs called a different game, sort of like umpires changing strike zones during the game. Austin Lutz, there were so many silly mistakes. They either got comfortable with the lead or lost the focus, and the bigs took over in overtime.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happened in that. I mean, someone else asked what goes on in that locker room at halftime.
Yeah.
What kind of fire?
That's
is
what I'm
being
wondering
stoked,
too, because it's not the first time that we've gone into the locker room with a huge lead and then come out like
Flat.
absent, not even flat, like just gone. Like that team just. And so I'm wondering, especially with an older team, you expect that to not be the issue. You expect them to keep their foot on the throat of their opponent and make sure it doesn't become a game again. But
yeah, Craig asked a good question. Why have we went away from going inside?
yeah,
That's been the case since, I mean, at least the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Through the SEC tournament.
why is 2 not getting the ball every time up the court?
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand not trying to feed it down low to Alexander because he looks like a baby giraffe half the time. He's scrawny, but like, throw Grant that ball on the top of the key or down the block, whatever it may be, or maybe even in a mid range, and just let him do his thing because he's going to draw a double team and then someone's going to be open.
Yeah. Do you guys feel like every time that they've caught it, it's been not in the post, it's been almost to the 3-point line. Like at best, you get a high post.
Feels like Grant's out there a lot more lately too.
Yeah,
and people aren't respecting him like out there, and he will make you pay for it occasionally. But that's the shot. If you are playing against Tennessee, you want Grant taking 3-pointers.
Yeah.
A, you don't want other people taking them, but B, you don't want him inside doing that spin move, draw foul, and one stuff he's done all year.
I wonder how much. I mean, I know when we first played Kentucky, they played so physically against Grant and kind of took him out, and nobody really else stood up and kind of stepped up and played their game. I don't know if they're trying to play, I guess, too complicated and more chess than checkers kind of thing. Like, let's not give him a chance to do this down low. Let's not. But at the same time, it's like that's our kind of our bread and butter, just to let him do his thing, open up other opportunities for other guys. And again, I don't know why it kind of goes back to Admiral. It's like you're clicking and you're so hot the first half. Why are you? If you pull yourself out and you're having a sense of the game that we don't see as viewers, I get it. At the same time, you are on fire. Yeah. That first half was like, all right, finally.
Yeah.
And again, I've been called a negaball just saying, hey, these guys are inconsistent. But when that first half came, it's like, finally, we can put some steps together here. But by the way, if you're watching, you're new to Chat 10 Sports, Chase Green, Trey Wynn, Kurt McKibben, we are here every single week, every Monday, talking Vols, Titans, Braves, Predators, and as seasons change and everything goes on, we will adjust. But do us a favor, share the show. Feel free to comment your opinions with us as well. We'll give you a shout out. We'll give you a like if it's a good comment. And also on Periscope, do us a favor and share the show on Twitter as well. But guys, let me ask this question because I wanted to, just not to stoke a fire and make a debate about the first 2 games, but how would you summarize the first 2 games of the tournament for the Vols?
Super, super cliche, but legit survive and advance. I mean, survive. I mean, yesterday gave me so much anxiety. And also, I did want Duke to lose. I wanted big old Taco Foul to come up and get that W, but just didn't happen.
I mean, that's a topic for in a few minutes.
You got to tell me about that because I've heard about it. And I was keeping up with the score, but I wasn't watching it live. So I've seen bits and pieces. We'll talk about it in a little bit. But
how would you summarize the first two rounds?
No, yes. Like that's the thing. You always have that moment. You're like, Monte, no! Oh yeah. It's usually Lamonte because he's heat checking from the 10-second line at least once a game. But
he's by far our best player.
He's saved us. And defensively, man, because I've been really just hating on Monte this year for some of the dumb shots and just his inconsistency from shooting.
Yeah.
But defensively, he's made all the difference in the tournament, in the SEC tournament, and then in the big tournament this so far this way.
And he is going to be a crucial part come Thursday night.
Yeah.
So,
I'm thinking you were saying no, yes. Like this last game is yes, no, yes.
Yes.
Like, I'll take it. Like it's like a
maybe that's the word. Yes? Question mark.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's perfect, man. I'm just thinking, like you said, I know Purdue. It's getting into that point where it's like, all right, pack your lunch. Let's go.
The margin of error gets smaller every time. It's not necessarily even the opponents are better, but it's just the intensity is ramped up. I mean, it's a new city. You got some off days to prepare this time. Purdue's going to come out ready to play. They finished between Michigan and Michigan State in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
They have stars everywhere. I mean, it's going to be a really tough matchup.
It is.
I know the ESPN preview has the matchup predictor that they do for each game, regardless of what sport it is. But Purdue is a 50.7% favorite. Vols are at 49.3%. Just a straight up question for everybody watching and you guys as well. How do the Vols match up against Purdue? Let's just line them up and
So Carson Edwards is Player of the Year top candidate. He's a true volume scorer. Like this dude, let's look at like their last 5 games. He scored 42, 26, 11, 21, 22. But outside of last week, he shot 33% or worse. So he's putting up points. Don't get me wrong. The dude can score.
The James Harden way.
But it's, and he will shoot. And he's not a big assist. His assist turnover ratio is going to be pretty low. So if Lamonte comes to play, because they're the same size. They look similar. They're kind of a stronger build. I mean, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
But, man, you're going to have to bring
the heat.
Bring the heat, and I hope you've been running a lot, man, because
Yeah.
that dude controls it. And his crazy usage numbers and all this fun stuff.
Well, I'm looking at the team stats, and you can see Purdue, on average, is 76.1 points. Tennessee's at 82.2. The real main difference, significant difference, because rebounds is 37.2 to the Vols, 37.7. Is the difference is the assists. We're 18.1 for the Vols, and then 14.5 for Purdue. Do you just kind of let your strengths work, or do you adjust to what they're doing, or just play your game and see what happens? And
that's just one of those that. But you also, I know I seem like I kind of badmouth the kid, but the guy also just scored 42 points.
Right, against Villanova.
Against Villanova.
The Jay Wright team.
So, you're just gonna have to. There's gonna be a lot of help side there. He'll dump it off if he needs to. They can shoot it. I mean, like you said, they're top 10. They're a top 3 team, top 4 team in the Big Ten. Probably the best overall conference this year, and they can score, man. We're just gonna have to. I really think this is one of those. We play our game, and Lamonte you're gonna have some tired legs. Just be careful on the shot selection.
Yeah. I'm excited. We were talking about before the show as far as North Carolina and Auburn.
Yeah.
Kind of who do you want to win there? We were talking about, and it's, do you take the kryptonite or do you take a national powerhouse?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they've been a kryptonite for us the last 2 years because both Vols Heels games have been within 3 points.
Yeah.
So,
what do you think, Kitty? How do the Vols prepare and match up against Purdue?
Man, I think you can't, regardless of what happens in the first half, you can't come out flat.
Yeah.
I think it's the mental toughness that's going to take them further in these last few rounds. If they continue to advance, it's going to be because they're stronger willed mentally. It's because they're an older team. I don't think talent-wise there's going to be as big of a gap between Tennessee and whoever they play the next few rounds.
Yeah.
If nothing else, they might even be lesser talented than some of the teams they're playing coming up.
Yeah. Speaking of that, that's a great segue. I know today we talked about it before earlier this afternoon, but also that Myron Metcalf for ESPN has actually done a reseeding for the Sweet 16. I have it up right now. Duke's number 1, 16 seed is for Oregon. Number 2 is Gonzaga. Let me go through it in order. UNC's 3, Virginia's 4. Let's see, number 5 here is Texas Tech. Michigan State's number 6. Michigan's number 7. Houston's number 8. Let's see here if I can count. Auburn's 9.
You have a link to that?
Purdue's 10. I can send it to you in just 1 second. 11's Kentucky. FSU is 12. LSU is 13. And the Vols bringing up the rear, I guess. That's not 16.
14. And Virginia
Okay,
Tech
14,
15.
15. There we go.
Yeah. So
Vols getting some disrespect.
yeah,
from
it
ESPN.
doesn't make any sense though. Like his like if you go by the weekend, then how is Duke won?
After squeaking out versus a UCF team that didn't even win their
they're out the first game of their conference, and then
they got smoked by.
I mean honestly, like Texas Tech's blown out both teams they played. So I don't know. That's one of those that maybe it's just an eye test thing that he did real quick. Obviously not well put together to be honest. So,
which is someone had commented. We shared it on our Facebook today, and they had said, there's a ton of LOLs. This is completely inaccurate.
Yeah.
And again, if you're watching with us live, tell us your opinion about ESPN's take. But a lot of SEC hate. There's a lot of they love Duke and they love these traditional powerhouses.
The last time I checked, we had 4 of the Sweet 16 teams from the SEC. So
exactly.
I don't understand where this dude gets off putting 14 by Tennessee.
Well, one guy had said, and he said they're playing like a 14 seed. This is one comment I had found out how many.
Yeah,
Duke was playing great. No, Duke played awful.
Here's my defense in that argument. Taco Fall, and like we referenced it in a second. There were a couple times late in that game. Obviously, he's huge. He doesn't have to really to jump to dunk. But if the Vols had played at UCF and had a guy like that,
it's a bad matchup.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's even with Zion, that game was so intense and so close. And once he fouled out, and of course the alley-oop as well.
Yeah,
that was just a gut shot. But that dude was a force.
But with Gonzaga though, how do you give them 2? They didn't play anybody in the regular season. They didn't play anybody in conference tournament. They lost to St. Mary's. They beat F. Dickinson. Baylor.
Don't call him that.
Yeah.
Dickinson's a good guy.
Yeah.
We went to school.
God, Dickinson's such a good guy.
They get their
F you, Dickinson.
They get their first real test in Florida State, but they've had maybe since they played Tennessee.
It is the
and lost to Tennessee, mind you. I just don't understand the Gonzaga. I think ESPN is all about some Gonzaga. Obviously, the Duke love is the main love. But it's hard. Gonzaga's definitely the side chick because it's just unreal to me that they continue to put Gonzaga so high and give them credit when they have not earned it.
Got a few comments coming in here. Craig Story says his reseeding is hilariously bad. Randy Parton says trash. Duke is the high after a 1-point win over UCF. And Gavin Jones says I hate UNC, but they should be number 1.
Yeah,
probably agree.
Agree.
Scott Wolford says, love the narrative. Vols are on borrowed time after an overtime win. Duke showing maturity at a 1-point win.
Maturity?
Maybe. I mean, like, it's one of those that you did have that moment. Like, it wasn't Zion going to dunk on Taco Fall, but it was Zion going straight to the chest of Taco Fall to get an N1 in a 3-point game, even though Taco should just.
So talk to me about the end of that game. Now that we're here, we might as well do it. What happened? I heard there was an oop. I saw the replay of the oop. It looked like a good play to me.
I don't know
Maybe
how
a little ballsy.
He just missed the catch. That was
but
it.
What led to that? I heard Duke should have lost this game.
Well, it was a huge swing of points as they were up like 2 or 3.
No, they were. That was right after they got that weird. They skimmed the rim.
Okay. But I remember.
Oh, yeah. And did they say it touched the rim?
Yeah.
Because the replay,
all the replays. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
they called it on the floor.
10-minute replay. It
yeah.
like forever.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. And they called it on the floor, and you just couldn't tell. There were spots you're like, maybe.
Yeah.
To me, it looked like it never hit it.
Right.
But it was so dead.
Well, there was one angle from, if you're looking at the net, it's off to the right, and it just does not look like it made contact.
Yeah.
But
yeah, the one over the top looked the worst.
Could have been any worse than the Lamonte call.
Yeah.
That foul call.
The
on the 3.
Goodness gracious. That killed us.
Yeah, there was a 5-point swing. Because it went from a dunk on the other end by the Vols to a 3-point basket for them.
Yeah.
But I think towards the end of that game, Taco Fall fouled out, and it was just like, we're going to drive the lane. And they had I think Zion missed a free throw.
Yeah.
They rebound, and there's 3 guys, like,
Yeah, they had to have
a few feet away.
Yeah, man, when I look back, I really wanted that to be like some push in the back, but it was just there was no full extension. There was nothing like that. It just looked like he got a little push in the back from maybe just get a little more drive.
Who's this?
RJ got the last rebound to go ahead bucket.
Scott says, as far as his maturity comment, says I guess the irony doesn't come through in the comments.
No.
Yeah.
So we'll give him some love. Yeah,
Sorry.
we get you, Scotty.
Yeah. But it was like it's one of those.
Yeah, Kimmy doesn't use Facebook, so he's got to sharpen some tools on the comments.
Yeah, that's one of those, man, where when you have to turn around and play Taco Fall or whatever in 2 days when you don't have that much time to game plan for him. That's a tough matchup.
That's the thing. Like I love this tournament just for the simple sake you're shuffling your deck within a matter of 48 hours.
Yeah.
And trying to all right, this team was good at this. Let's look at the next guy and see where we can go. But let's wrap up some Vols talk. I know, like we said, Thursday, Purdue. I think it's a 7:15 tip off.
Mm-hmm.
Going to be biting our nails. Hoping for that first half and less of the second half team that came out against Iowa. But we actually had one comment earlier. Let me see if I can find out who it was from. Travis Smith had asked, "What position do you think the Titans will draft?" That has been a hot topic for Titans fans. We were talking about it before the show. We've been looking at a lot of mock drafts. We've made some mock drafts ourselves. I'm going to jump right in here. My initial question, why is the idea of taking a tight end in the first round so polarizing? There's some that are for it and some that are completely and utterly against it.
I think it's a no-brainer.
To take a tight end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Delaney's on his way out. Johnny's proven that he's not going to be that
Delaney
guy
Walker,
that we wanted.
Nope.
We released Stalker.
Did we?
Terrible.
That was a strange series of events. I was like, hey, he's probably going to get re-signed, and all of a sudden he's going to the Falcons.
Yeah.
Within a matter of hours.
Yeah.
So the conspiracy theorist inside of me wants to be like, oh, we released Luke Stalker because we're going tight end first. But
Hey,
I don't know. I think there are more obvious holes in the Titans than tight end, but I don't see any problem with if Hawkinson or Fant are still around first round by our pick. I don't see any issue with that whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, like Craig said, it's one of those if pass rusher is more pressing, but man, at 19, we were just talking about before the show. The edge rusher is going to be kind of how like the wide receivers were a couple years ago. They're going to go early and fast.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know what we're going to have left at 19.
Yeah.
So
get it well. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and so it's one of those. Unless we move up, that I don't know, man. It's.
I
feel like that. Why would we not? Because like you said, at best, what do we got? At best, we have Delaney for 2 years. We'll have a pretty good year this year, I think.
He's coming off an injury, though. You just never
then,
know.
Yeah.
When you're at that age, coming off an injury.
Yeah, but he's not like, I don't know, tearing his Achilles or something like ACL. Where it's like this.
Neither was Des Bryant until he went out in practice after being cold.
Yeah, but he could come back this year. I mean,
I'm just saying, it's harder to bounce back at that age.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And my thing is, if there's a stud tight end or receiver at that pick, I'm not that messed up. If all the edge rushers and defensive linemen have been plucked, and you don't think there's a legitimately like day one starter left, why not improve that offense around Marcus? And
I'm gonna tail off of Craig's question here or statement saying you take the best player at any of your needs at 19. But for anyone watching, Titans fans, we'll debate this right here and discuss this. But if you're the Titans GM, who are you taking in the first round? Kimmy started off saying a receiver. You had in your mock draft. It was Hollywood Brown, correct?
No. I had Montez Sweat.
Okay, well first, but you had taken a receiver.
AJ Brown next. Yeah, I took AJ Brown
second.
next.
But then you had a tight end in the third.
Yeah, I had the Stanford tight end.
So see, I'm leaving that route where it's address because this draft is so deep in defensive line, and there's so many solid picks. Get one of those top-notch guys that are probably going to be around for a long time. Mm-hmm. But again, like there's, I know Metcalf tested off the Richter scale as far as just his athleticism.
Right.
Could be a workout warrior. Could be DGB 2.0 is who we compared him to.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're watching live with us, tell us who you're going to take in the first round at 19 if you have your pick. What'd you think?
And I just did mine up before the show. I wound up just where I had people going. I saw Noah Fant going a little bit earlier than 19, so I wound up giving us Cody Ford. I think that we could still use a little interior help on the O-line, so let's take a chance on the big fella. The big fella.
Yeah, hit those stats. What is that?
Super big.
6'4", 346.
And he's playing guard, correct?
Yes. Let's just say he's not missed too many meals.
Man.
Oh, and real quick, I do want to hit up our boy Brooks Jones here. Ask me that question about the Zion Ja Morant thing at the end. Don't forget about it. And then ask me at the end of the show. So, bring that one back.
You were not ignored, Brooks.
You are not.
And Gavin Jones comes in and says either the pass rusher from Florida, I think he's from Florida, but Jacob Light, or DeAndre Baker, lockdown corner.
Burns.
See, that's one, too, that's like a hot...
Baker?
Well, I'm just saying, cornerback in general. It's like...
Oh, you need it. But I think we're already deep there.
Yeah, the second half of the season we played really well. Defense was definitely our specialty last year. But I like the idea as well of going towards the interior offensive line. It's Marcus's last, not last ditch effort because they could sign him to a franchise tag after this year. However, I'm thinking you got to do whatever you can do to protect him and give him receivers. That's why I love the Adam Humphries signing. Mm-hmm. Delaney went down, his security blanket, so bring some guy in who can get the 10-yard, quick converting first down receiver. And of course, he dropped like 2 balls, it seems like, in the last 10 years. But not really, but... I love the receiver position being addressed. I love the interior offensive line. I would love to see even in Dominican Sue. I know he wants to stay out west, but obviously as the free agency period goes on, it's either that money amount goes down and smaller and smaller, which maybe some guys just need the realization like, all right,
this is what I'm really worth.
Yeah, this is what I'm worth now. I'm getting older, but time will tell.
There's a lot of ego in those big boys, though.
Oh yeah. But I wanted to bring up, of course, we've been using the draftnetwork.com to do our very own mock drafts. I'm actually doing an article for Chat 10 Sports where I did my mock draft, and I'm going to put a little blurb for each pick as to why. But Trevor Seichman, if I can pronounce that correctly, who is the Draft Network's, I think, own correspondent for the draft.
What? Sorry, I saw DK Metcalf at two,
it's a very interesting take. I tweeted at him today and said, hey, man, this is kind of rough. But first off, he has Cardinals taking Nick Bosa from Ohio State. Whoa. 49ers at number 2 are taking DK Metcalf. That is...
real high.
I mean, I get it. The guy was awesome, except for his, 3-cone shuttle.
Yeah. Anything lateral quickness, he was terrible.
Yeah. Quinton Jones going to the Jets, Josh Allen to the Raiders. Don't hate those picks. But let's get to the Titans pick, because this has been kind of a controversial one. I don't know how this guy gets down here that far at 19, but the Titans, with the number 19 pick, the Titans are taking Rashawn Gray, edge rusher from Michigan. There's no chance.
He ain't falling.
Yeah, there is absolutely no chance he gets down there. Now, if he does... hallelujah.
Yeah.
My goodness. But his kind of blurb says the Titans added veteran pass rusher Cameron Wake, and I really like that move. Not only for what he still has in the tank, but also his presence in a young edge rusher room. It will get even younger with this pick, but I think that's the right one. Gray, as much more traditional hand-in-the-ground edge rusher defender, can complement the Titans line well by allowing Landry to be the speed rusher on one side, but he can set the edge with Gray on the other side.
Yeah.
I love the logic.
Yeah.
I love the idea. However, that's a dream.
He's also got out of order from anybody else because he has the Cleveland Farrell after him. He has Dexter Lawrence after him.
He had Farrell going 30th.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
which is
got this,
again, long shot.
Who did he have? Burns going before. Sweat. So, I mean, everything I've seen has Sweat way sooner than 14. I would love it if that mock draft, like I just did, we got Sweat that late, but I don't see that happening.
What, he ran a 4.6 or something?
Yeah, that's
something ridiculous.
Does freak show testing.
Yeah, he's got Christian Wilkins, and a lot of people have kind of, they didn't double down on the Ed Oliver. So leading up to the draft, I guess technically midway through the college football season, Ed Oliver was going to be the first overall pick.
Yeah.
Like the guy out of Houston.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He was a freak. You know, you're not going to see. You know, he's basically what's his name from Clemson, who's for the Texans now.
You mean Davion?
Yeah, Clowney. He's basically like
yeah.
he's got Clowney's strength and speed.
Yeah.
A little bit bigger.
You know what I remember him doing? Like the one thing I recall, and of course he was injured for part of the year, was whenever he freaked out because his coach said, "Take off the jacket that only players are supposed to be wearing on the sideline," and he just lost it. And it's this big, yeah. And it's not a good look. I'm sure he's been interviewed and grilled about it.
Oh, you're talking about Oliver. Yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah. But I forgot all about that.
Wasn't that Major Applewhite that did that?
That was the head coach.
Yeah.
Major Applewhite.
But he was kind of...
He just said,
he was
"Look,
kind of being a authorita
maybe
kind of guy."
But he was saying,
"We say like I'm over you. You may be in the NFL next year and have way more of a career than I ever had, but for now you answer to me."
Right?
Yeah.
You think they're going to do anything different in the NFL though?
Yeah, they are. They very much are.
I don't know, man. It's like look at the Raiders. Like you are on a roster one day, and you're gone the next.
I mean, I understand it's a business, but at the end of the day, like.
But
they allowed what's his name, Sue, to practice separately from the team in L.A. I mean, like
really?
Yeah.
That's probably why he didn't do.
Yeah, he did a lot of the preseason training workouts by himself. Like
well, preseason. I mean, or I guess
I'm just saying,
you're talking about OTAs, like
spring practice and things like that. But even during the season,
they're not bringing him back.
I know. I'm just saying, like you get a lot more of
leniency,
and I mean, because you are a professional, and
but you got to look at guys like the McCourty twins. And Robert Kraft came into their locker room after the Super Bowl. How you doing, sir? Thank you, sir, so much for the opportunity, sir. It's like just respect, because you know who's making those calls, who's signing your checks, I think it's like, and this is a far reach, but the movie Draft Day. Like there's one character in the movie who's a football player who's this big, like even like Boobie Miles, like I'm the baddest ever, and blah blah blah. It's like. That can, Terrell Owens can do it, Chad Ochocinco can do it to an extent, but there's usually some dysfunction behind that. Anyways, we're getting long-winded. Let's look at some comments here. Jeff Sawyer says, take one of the defensive tackles from Clemson, Christian Wilkinson, or who's the other guy?
Cleveland.
Well, Farrell, and then there's a third guy. Lawrence, I think his name was,
Lawrence,
or is. Titans move up for Devin Bush, linebacker, Michigan, wrote it down. Hold me to it. We will see about that, Gavin.
You are with that.
But I'm agreeing again with Craig here. Story says, I have a gut feeling the Titans will move up. Robinson tends to move in round one.
Yeah.
Do you try and move back? I mean, you could probably get, with the depth at defensive line, maybe move back a few picks, get some collateral, and get some compensation. Because John Robinson loves those picks.
Man, I would love to move up and get one of these big-time edge rushers, though. Mm-hmm. I would love it. I mean, I think you're going to have to move up pretty far.
Yeah. Top 10?
Top 10, 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we move up, I'd rather see us, if we're moving up for a linebacker, I'd rather see us get Devin White out of LSU than Devin Bush out of Michigan. I don't know, man. Like we've said over and over again, this is just such a defense-heavy draft.
Yeah.
And so if they don't get somebody defensively first round, I don't think it's panic time.
See, I was showing these guys the Draft Network prior to the show, and they do a great job. Or I'll say, best trait, for Devin White was competitive toughness. Worst trait was contact balance. His best film was against Georgia in 18. His worst was against Alabama. Then they'll have a section that says red flags, and some guys, I think Ed Oliver was a guy that was a red flag for his size. But, Devin White has no red flags, has the ceiling of an NFL star, explosive range, hitting power. That's why I love their insight for it.
Yeah, great breakdown.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun. I think in a couple weeks, maybe the week or two before the draft, we're going to all three have our own laptop set up with our own picks going, maybe to the first round, see how it goes. But you guys can do that with us as well if you're watching. But let's take a look at our outline here to see what else we've got. We're about 10 till. Kibby,
quick Braves.
Hit me with some Braves.
Braves. All right. All Braves fans are kind of peeved right now.
Why's that?
Julio Teheran is getting a franchise record 6 consecutive open day start. I think starting pitcher, ace, if you will, like a really breadwinner, starter is what the Braves, everyone thought were going to go out and get in the offseason. They haven't.
Mm-hmm.
They spent money on Josh Donaldson, brought McCann back, but they haven't really addressed pitching.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty interesting. You see Kimbrell still out there as a reliever, as a closer.
Has he been talking to anybody? I don't think there's been like serious.
I'm not up on it, honestly. There's still the crystal ball is still forecasting the same teams.
Yeah.
It's really the same teams that are in it for Dallas Keuchel too, the starter from Houston. Apparently he wants just stupid money though, which I was kind of okay with the Braves paying him for Keuchel, more so even than Kimbrell.
Yep.
But lo and behold, they still have not made any moves.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of sat by his, kept his cards close, whatever analogy you want to use. But their pitching prospects are getting a lot of notice.
Yeah.
In spring ball. Yeah, and that's what in my mind, when I saw us not reaching, I thought they must know something we don't about our prospects. Tuki Toussaint has been actually sent down to AAA Gwinnett, and then Kyle Wright and Bryce Wilson will be in the starting rotation to start the year. Now, Fulte's coming off of an injury, so he's not going to be ready to go. You would think that he would have gotten opening day start if healthy.
Right.
He had a phenomenal year last year.
But Julio's starting day one.
Julio is the starting day one.
But that's like a couple years running now, isn't it? As far as
six
Toronto?
Six
Just a
years.
few guys.
Yeah.
So, big hopes and dreams for Wilson and Wright.
Yeah.
They're both, one's 21, the other's 23.
Yeah.
Brought up the right way, farm system. But we have yet to see if they're actually going to be a starter throughout the entire year and, remain on the roster.
Who was
They're
it
gonna
last
sit down.
year? Max Fried
Yeah.
came in last year, just got toasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free got toasted.
I remember watching it. My wife was like, God bless that kid.
Yeah.
I think someone hit a homer off of him in his debut, and it's like, might get you some more time there, bud.
Yeah, started early and never got better.
There's a couple. Soroka, haven't really heard much of him this spring. There's a lot of prospects to choose from. It's going to be interesting to see how they maneuver them, either bring them up or trade them for, either cap space or whatever, maybe a proven talent. I don't know. They went out and also signed a veteran outfielder this past Saturday, Matt Joyce. He's not great, but he's, I don't know. When you compare him to either Adam Duvall or, I'm not Nick Markakis is bad or anything, but I'm just saying he's not a bad get at all. We'll see if he stays long term.
Gotcha.
They've sent Duvall down to the minors. He went 171 in spring ball. So
You're dang right, Craig. Sam Friedman is definitely gone now. So
really,
yeah, he's gone.
My
computer's freaking.
I know mine is too for some reason.
You poisoned our computers, Kimmy.
So they were talking about against the Mets. I think it was on Friday. The batting order has been a big topic of discussion because
order.
What you have, you have a true leadoff hitter in the center fielder. Acuna had a lot of success in the leadoff role last year.
Keep it rolling. I'm all about the Acuna, baby.
But they have him batting cleanup now.
Yeah.
With the addition of Donaldson, they're going to play. They're going to bat him second. Ender Inciarte is going to be, and he is a legitimate great leadoff hitter, and he was before the rise of Acuna. But they say I think it's going to be Inciarte, then Josh Donaldson, Freddie, Acuna, Albies, and then depending on who starts at catcher, if it's McCann, then McCann. If not,
Flowers?
Flowers.
You think Flowers could beat him out of starter?
Yeah, that was the thought
Yeah.
coming into the year, but McCann's kind of more of a He's a veteran back.
But that's also contingent on if Josh Donaldson is the Josh Donaldson of old.
Right.
And he's coming back from injury or whatnot.
Yeah, and if not, then
I hope that just kind of bullshit.
Johan Camargo is pretty dang good still.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a huge fall there.
That's true.
Adam Duvall, like I said, hasn't been great. Charlie Culberson, in my opinion, is the way to go if we're replacing Markakis right now.
I'm excited, man. I'm itching for some trips down to the SunTrust Park, hit up the Battery, get some grub, get some ball.
It's a cool experience.
It is.
And it's an hour and a half. I mean, from us in Chattanooga. And if you've not obviously been to SunTrust Park yet, get in.
It's worth it. Yeah, make a night trip out of it. Yeah, go see a night game. Stay there. That place is awesome. Yeah, it's worth the money.
It's a money factory on the outside. It's like that was actually something a fan I think on Reddit had said.
Yeah.
During the free agency period, just saying we have a money factory with our venue and our restaurants and all this stuff. Why are we not paying these guys? And again, like you said, there could be a lot of inside baseball going on as far as what's really happening with the biggest question mark is the pitching rotation.
Yeah.
Now, if these young guys can come in and be productive, I mean,
and if this guy, I think could be the young closer we had last year. I think he's pretty good too. I mean, I really don't think you overpay for a Craig Kimbrell at this point.
Yeah.
Maybe just let it see, like you said, see how these guys turn out.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's give old Gavin Jones his question for Chase.
All right.
Before we hit the agree or disagree, it says if you're an NBA GM, obviously everyone can see this. But I guess for Kibby, I'll read it out for you. Your team has a small forward you're comfortable with, but truly need a point guard. Do you still take Zion or do you take Ja? Is it J or Ja? Ja Morant.
Ja Morant.
Morant.
Yeah. So let's look. Realistically, it looks like the Knicks are going to be the number one pick, and I guess they're comfortable with Kevin Knox. But man, you are passing up on
the greatness.
Something we have never seen before. Like so I know this is a weird comparison because he's not the 7-foot length that Giannis is, but as far as like explosiveness and things he does at the rim, and obviously he showed he's capable of making threes. They left him open like a bunch of idiots. At least come out there and put a hand up on the guy. I mean, they left him wide open in the UCF game, and he knocked him down. It's hard, man. It's hard to pass up on either, but I just don't think you pass up on Zion.
I don't think Ja's shooting is where, if he was a little bit better of a 3-point shooter, I think it would be a lot closer.
Yeah, it's just gonna be that's one of those.
Plus the Knicks they just traded for Smith.
Yeah,
Dennis Smith Jr.
Yeah.
So they have a pretty solid point guard already. I mean, Kevin Knox with his 5 head and just straight ugliness. Like, I'm sorry, and it's not just because he's from Kentucky.
Right.
I think he has a pretty low ceiling. I don't feel like, and also you just have to take into consideration that your fan base will riot if you don't take Zion first overall.
And
it's
think
just
of all fan bases, the Knicks.
Yeah. They're already angry.
Those guys are.
And they have reason to be.
Spike Lee would go on record.
It's a terrible torture franchise.
Yeah, listen. I think watching Ja play, man, this guy has vision. He makes passes that other people don't make in college. I was listening to Ryan Russillo today talking about. That was the thing about like D'Angelo Russell. Like all of a sudden he's become good in the NBA, and back in college you knew he was going to be good. He was just kind of a tool bag and not a very intelligent guy in general. But he was a good basketball player and just kind of finally all fit together. I think Ja's one of those guys, man. Like that. Looking at CBS's mock draft, they got him going all the way down to the 3rd spot with the Suns, and in some similarities I do. I sure hope he's better than John Wall personality-wise. But closest thing is like a De'Aaron Fox. Ja Morant, he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's a walking triple-double when he comes to the NBA. The guy is going to be elite. He can score, elite finisher. Yeah, I just can't find any way to pick him over Zion, though. It's just so hard. The guy's unbelievable.
Risky move.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we're hitting that time. I wanted to say, and we talked about it today while we was at working, but the Predators are in a must-win game tonight against the Minnesota Wild. Obviously, the Preds have not.
Whoa, what a fall off in the second half of the season.
It's not been pretty. Obviously, Austin Watson just got moved, and I think moved to Minnesota for injury reasons or whatnot. But check them out. They're about to drop the puck right now. Got a couple, I don't know if we're going to actually get into a ton of debate here, but I have a couple agree or disagrees. But for anyone who's new, watching with us, agree or disagree, we're going to throw a hot take out for us. And everybody can debate it. Let us know your opinions. But I think yesterday, what was yesterday there?
Yeah.
Okay, the announcement came via Adam Schefter, or I guess Rob Gronkowski, via his Instagram, announced his retirement in a heartfelt message to fans, to his teammates, and to the organization that drafted him 9 years ago, that Gronk is retiring. Now the question, agree or disagree, Rob Gronkowski will actually stay retired?
I'm going to agree.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if he's coming back, man. I think he's got some major injury issues that, he's probably kept under wraps, and he's just like, I'm tired of hurting every day. And the dude's got crazy marketing potential forever. He'll be that funny guy. They'll make a whole snippet for CBS or Fox. He's not going to go up and be Tony Romo in the box, but he's definitely going to have his own segment, maybe even a future show. He's going to love it in the limelight. And that's that way. Also, I did see Mr. Golick Jr. said, shout out to Rob Gronkowski, letting nobody proofread that retirement message on Instagram, sticking up for his own self. So,
was it bad?
I think there was some parts that were a little rough.
Yeah.
I didn't read it, but I thought it was pretty
Lord
good.
knows his girlfriend's not going to help him write much.
Yeah, no.
She's not a real bright one either.
No, they're at least they're
They make beautiful babies.
What's your thoughts, bro?
I think he has been injury plagued. It was always the most unnerving feeling when it came to me in a fantasy draft, and I knew the big risk, high reward play was to go with Gronk.
Yeah.
Because you didn't know if he was going to make it the full season without being hurt.
Yeah.
And it was just you were going to feel so stupid at the end of the year if you didn't take him, and he did stay healthy. But I think he stays retired, like you said. Marketing potential, endless. Yeah. The guy loves to party. Who doesn't? What else are you going to do with all that money?
Yeah,
when you retire. Yeah. Plus, what else is there to come back to? I mean,
yeah, God on top.
And a lot of people were talking about well, if you were to come back, why wouldn't you have came back as a Patriot and won probably another Super Bowl?
Yeah,
and so
that team's changed a lot.
Yeah, but they won again last year, and
they did it again.
I think I agree that he will stay retired from the NFL. I could honestly see him going into WWE.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I saw
the marketing. I mean, think about how many butts he would put in the seats.
Yeah.
And of course, he had. I think a few years back, he jumped in at a WrestleMania, got in his 3-point stance and speared somebody, or just hit, lowered a shoulder. But I'm thinking he'll be the spokesperson for everything. He'll be on Barstool. He'll be the Pat McAfee of.
Yeah,
that thing. Whatever his next step is, he's going to succeed at it.
Yeah.
I think he's just so likable.
Look out, Snoop Dogg, 4 hymns. No longer your gig. It's Gronk's gig.
Yeah.
No, but I know Adam Gase, the Jets head coach, or new head coach for the Jets. He said, I'll believe it when I see it. Especially being a divisional rival for the Patriots.
It just always feels like they're trying to pull something shady.
Yeah.
It's always Tom and Bill are at each other's throats. One of them wants out. Was that leading into last year? They tried to pull that, and it was okay.
Come on.
There are no choir boys in the Northeast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody kind of rolls off just because we had the Jason Witten news, they come in, it's one of those he's going to come back just like Jason did.
Yeah.
Speaking of.
Segue.
As a Vols homer, this is my take. Jason Witten was better than Gronk. This is laughable. This is laughable.
Yes.
Why?
Dude, Witten,
the all-time leader in receptions for the Cowboys franchise, that Jason Witten. What do you...
Okay, listen, though. You got to think about the competition. I don't care if it's America's team. like for what he was in his time. I know Kellen Winslow Sr. There is Tony Gonzalez. There's obviously Gronkowski
and
up
he's
there.
above
Mike Ditka. I mean, for his day and time, he was a force. There's other guys. I've just basically pulled up some tight ends. I'm trying to think of anybody else. Travis Kelce's on his way to be in that conversation. I think. Remember old Jeremy Shockey?
Stud.
He was.
Do you guys remember that first play when he came to the NFL? He caught that. He caught that out route to the sideline, and he ran over like 19 people. There was fans coming out of it.
He was bad. Of course, Delaney, our very own Delaney Walker, could be in that conversation. I don't think he is better than Gronk. Sorry.
Yeah.
Much as I love the Vols, too.
If I'm going to pick a tight end on my team, I want Gronk.
So you're saying if you had your all-time draft pick for a tight end spot, you would take
Tony Gonzalez.
Okay.
But
okay, we're just on head-to-head.
In head-to-head, okay. Jason Witten.
Yeah. Wow.
Gavin Jones just threw you under the bus. Kurt is the next Skip Bayless.
Ouch.
Gavin, gentle.
Shots fired.
Craig Story says, no, I love Wooden, top 5 all time, but Gronk was something no one has ever seen before. That is the truth.
Gronk was just a hard matchup. Honestly.
I mean, that's why I think
he's a freak.
He's such a great blocker. That's the thing nobody gave him credit for. That's what he did last season.
I remember two years ago, there was a block against the Colts. He took this dude on the sideline.
Yeah.
And I think he ended up getting a penalty, but just as far as Gronkowski, Gavin Jones says he agreed he'll stay retired. He's a rock star. He's going to be in a lot of movies.
See that.
He'll be in some Stallone movie, The Expendables 6 or whatever it is.
He's coming in.
But let's move on to our next one here. Obviously, the Olympic Express, the Memphis Express. No idea where that came from. Maybe Harvey's pills are finally hitting me. The Memphis Express obviously signed Johnny Manziel. He came in this week, had a good 15-yard run. Not sure what else came of it.
Hey, he got his first completion to Pig Howard. Go Vols.
Go Vols.
So here's a one that I don't agree with, but I had to put on here. Johnny, agree or disagree, Johnny Manziel will play in the NFL again. No chance.
No chance.
Not a chance. He has the same... Well, I know his wife or fiance came out and said they're not doing so hot.
Oh, yeah, his little Instagram model girlfriend thing.
No way they're not working out.
Yeah. Shocking.
Yeah.
I know we kind of hate on him because his dad
so
owns the
easy.
state of Texas. Yeah, but
yeah.
I'm just thinking at some point the dream, you got to put it down and
realize what you are.
Yeah, focus on what you're supposed to be doing. Not that he's like irresponsible with football. I get it. It's hard to let go. You've probably done it your whole life, but it's one of those things like...
It's over.
It's been fun, man.
Yeah.
Texas A&M was a lot of fun. Let's hit one more here since that's all we've got, and we will go for it. But agree or disagree. The Vols will stumble against Purdue.
Stumble so vague. What do you mean? The Vols will
lose?
Yeah, let's say they'll lose.
The Vols will lose to Purdue.
Yeah.
Be strong with it.
Yeah. No.
Disagree.
Are you speaking with your heart or your head? I
think I'm speaking with both. Here's why. So, their offense is all through Carson Edwards. And you can't tell me Lamonte's not been probably the best one-on-one defender in the tournament so far. He and there's a couple others, but Kenny Williams, they've had some guys from Texas Tech, and then Virginia's just boring to watch. But I think that he's gonna cause havoc, and then anytime you get a switch, I think we're gonna have guys to help with the paint. They're a one-on-one ISO ball team. I think we get out and run. I think we learned our lesson real quick from last week. So I think it's going to be another, my God, can we just get this game over with? We're going to wind up winning.
We've been saying that for a
long time. Now, what happens after that?
You guys remember the Vandy game?
Yeah.
Yeah. It just blows my mind that we have the same game against Vandy in a regular season game. Our first SEC, I think, conference game this year, I think, was against Vandy. No, maybe. Anyways.
It was early.
Just a regular, Tuesday night game. We played just like them against we would like Iowa in round of 32 in the tournament. It just I don't know. I say disagree, and it's 100% with my heart, and I have nothing. I can't.
See, I feel like
I can't logically. Yeah, I can't wrap my mind around this team and where their ups and downs come from. So it's more. Maybe it's hoping.
Yeah, I think that there is a little delusional to the Vols fans with football. It's always that feels like 98. It's a joke now, but there's still that like, oh, we're gonna win the East and do all that stuff. And this, I think it's going to be one of those things when the time comes, and if they win the championship, fantastic. I think there's a lot of Vols fans that don't want to face the music and say, after week, it's like, look, this team is playing like a 14 seed. The one comment that I agreed with, but it was one of those things like that first half was so good, and that second half was so bad. And it's kind of unfortunate because even, like we said, like, yes, no. It's one of those, or no, yes, however it went. But, like, I think this could be one of those teams, and I don't know, like you said, their main guy in Lamonte, it's going to be a head-to-head match there. But if I'm betting my paycheck, I'm not betting on the Vols. Would you bet your paycheck on the Vols right now?
No.
Yeah.
You would?
Here's why. Wow. So here's the thing, is like, we're complaining about inconsistencies in wins. We've only lost. Like, we're still a 31-win team.
Yeah.
Like, we have the third most wins in the country right now, something like that, because of how many games we made it to the finals. We've lost to 2 teams in the last month. Or 1 team, Auburn. Like, that's it. I guess the LSU game was close to a month ago, if not so. So, I mean, and the only teams we're losing to... we lost to Auburn was the only team that wasn't at home or at their place. I don't know, man. It's just one of those, like, I know it's frustrating to watch this team, but they're still fucking winning.
Yeah.
It's close wins. It's heartbreaking to watch sometimes. Like, we just find a way to win. Like, that's one of the, I know it's stupid and it's annoying to watch sometimes, but
extremely.
We find a way to still pull it out, even though you don't know how we did it.
One of Craig's story says they're not playing. You aren't playing like a 14 seed when you make the Sweet 16. That second half was,
it's bad.
God awful.
It's bad.
I'm not saying that's this team. Everything that went bad. They got hot. We didn't do our due diligence. I just don't have. I don't expect a lot when I watch the games. It's just like I expect that sweat. Here we go. And that's why that first half was like, finally.
Yes.
Thank God. Yeah. But it's just like, ugh.
And I think that's the thing that's another reason I do. It's so hard to be like, we're going to lose because you see that first half, the way we move the ball, the way we shoot it, the way we rebound, you're like, this is why we were supposed to win. This is why we were supposed to make it to Final Four. So when you see stuff like that, then it's always one of those like, man, we can beat anybody. Yeah. And I go and watch what would be inconsistent play from Duke. They struggled. They were almost down at the half. I think they were up 3 or 4 in the first half of their first round game against the 16 seed. Everybody struggles, but I do know it's a tournament, so it's one of those. Madness. It is. And it's one of those.
March Madness.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
There's an out.
I'm hopeful, but I'm realistically hopeful. But appreciate everybody tuning in. Our Periscope kicked out. My daughter's school keeps calling me Monday nights. I gotta just do something about it.
I don't want your messages.
Yeah, I'm good. But Facebook, everybody, thank you so much. Yeah, I think it's all good on Periscope. But like I said at the beginning or towards the beginning of the show, we're here every single week talking Tennessee sports. If you have thoughts, if you have topics, if you have things that you want us to talk about or write about for the website, feel free to hit us up at chat10sports@gmail.com or go on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, message us. This is a water cooler roundtable conversation that you can comment in, that you can be a part of. Because every single week I feel like it's something new. And obviously March Madness, it's going to be a fun week. Hopefully it's a great week.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're not here talking about, Johnny Manziel had a good touchdown pass last week. But if you're on podcast, if you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Music, or Google Play Music, and you can listen to us there as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys.
Have a great week. Go Vols.
Do the best.